If you want to be happy for a day, drink. If you want to be happy for a year, marry. If you want to be happy for a lifetime, ride a motorcycle.
My man.
Amen.
Hey, bikeaholics and listeners alike, the show is still going strong because of a lot of hard work and your support, of course. Thanks to all those loyal listeners and true friends of the show that have supported us or are supporting us. For less than a coffee a month, you can help support us too and put a little fuel in the law-abiding biker gas tank to make sure this show keeps moving on down the road. So, calling all law-abiding bikers, head over to our Patreon page and take action today. You can do so at lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Oh, did I mention there's benefits too? From all your friends at lawabidingbiker.com, we appreciate each and every one of you. God bless and ride safe. And now, straight from the Law Abiding Biker Media Studio,
out of sunny Yakima, Washington,
we bring you another episode of the
#1 listen to motorcycle podcast.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
Oh yeah, feel it, Lurch.
Oh, I'm feeling something.
Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycling majority, the big MM, the
99%.
That's right. So I got to ask you, bikeaholics, what are you waiting for? Mount up. Let us take you on a ride. That is a big affirmative. I am Ryan Erlacher, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast, and your
high-tech redneck.
studio right. Of course, the opener, you heard the man, the myth, the legend, Lurch. What's going on, Lurch?
Just living the dream, baby. Living the dream.
Studio left. We have Oscar. What up, Oscar? We still don't have a tune for you, dude.
I don't
Can't
need
come up
one.
with a good tune for Oscar. I've looked.
I don't really need one. I stand by myself.
No, you do need one.
Tune free.
What do you think there, Lurch? What tune, dude? I was looking for like Oscar the Grouch or something.
There's no Oscar the Grouch?
There is, but they're not.
They're not funny.
They're just not good.
How about the sound of somebody vomiting into a garbage can?
We could do that. We could just do
Why
a
we got to
vomit.
bring up old stuff?
Good. We could. See? That's what I was looking for, ideas.
There's
Ideas.
only one witness to that in one picture, and neither of them are here.
But I saw the picture, whether it exists or not anymore. I still saw it. It's in my memory bank.
It was
It
fabricated.
exists.
Yeah,
I saved it
It's
in the
cloud.
cloud.
Yeah, exactly.
I knew someone would save it somewhere.
It's in the hard drive of my brain.
I was protecting little kids from the garbage can that was going to fall over.
It's in the cloud. Wasn't there a couple actresses that just got their
Yep.
their
Jennifer Lawrence, the gal from Hunger Games, she got her iClouds hacked. And then there's some British supermodel. I can't remember her name.
Why do you keep nudie pictures in the cloud?
Because you're not smart enough to click the right button on your phone so it doesn't back up your photos in the
Right.
cloud.
Yipe.
Keep your photos on your phone.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I back mine up in the cloud, but I don't take nudie pictures.
You're
Nobody
such a
really wants
liar.
to see them either. If somebody hacked my account, they would probably pay me
To give them back.
to give it back. Yeah, they'd be like, dude, we hacked your account. Stuff we did not want to see. Yeah, we want to just pay you to get rid of you forever.
And the problem was that the people that got their iCloud accounts hacked had really weak passwords.
Right. And they're stars,
Yeah.
apparent stars. And then they put nudie pictures in the cloud with a weak password. Kind of don't feel sorry for them.
No.
Not that you should support hackers, but
Would you leave a bag of money on your front porch?
right.
I mean, really.
I agree.
I don't have a bag of money.
I don't either, but if I did, I wouldn't leave it on the front porch.
True enough.
Probably.
We have got a loaded show. Let's run down what we're going to talk to you guys about today. We're going to start off talking about a new private law-abiding biker Facebook page for,
Hot off the press.
oh yeah, members only.
Private.
I belong.
Mhm. We're going to keep, yes, you do. We're going to keep the public one, but we're going to have this private one. We'll get into that. We're going to talk about some stolen motorcycles from the Cannonball Run. If you guys don't know what that is, we're going to cover that. Our main topic, which is going to be pretty intense, guys. And I think that it's going to cover most of the episode. It has been asked before. It was asked again via voicemail. So that's why we decided to cover it, because somebody nutted up and left a voicemail, and we appreciate it. So that will be our segue into our main topic, which is Why start a traditional motorcycle club? Why don't you just ride together? Why don't you just hang out? No organization, no patches, nothing. Are there benefits to being in a club? Why do people start clubs? And all that kind of stuff. So we're going to dive into that deep, Oscar.
So deep we need, the air tank and the mask and stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
We could be under for a while.
Deep. All right. So let's get right into it. Do you want to speak about this new Lab Facebook, or you want me to roll with it there, Lurch? You're involved in it. It's
yeah.
So
I'm on it.
Basically what it is, guys, is you all know about Patreon. All right. We're really, really trying to get people over on Patreon. We really, really thank the people that are involved on our Patreon page. If you want to get involved, that's lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. You probably heard the opener in the podcast little spiel I have there. We do have some people involved over there. There are some benefits to being in the Patreon. It's almost like our way of having a membership right now. We don't have another platform to do that, so we're using Patreon. If you pledge certain amounts over there, and if you just go to Patreon over there, lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, you'll see the benefits. One of those benefits is if you give a pledge a certain amount. We're talking about like a cup of coffee a month, because we put out like 3 to 4 episodes, maybe a video now and then. It's not expensive to get involved. It really helps us move forward with this thing, and is something that's can kind of be counted on each month, so to speak, as a kind of a membership, something we can look at. And we want to give you guys benefits for doing that. One of those benefits is the new Law Abiding Biker private Facebook group. We made a couple announcements recently that are private, and you get membership to that Facebook group. Now we're going to have the regular Law Abiding Biker regular open group, and that's lawabidingbiker.com/Facebook. We do put a lot of stuff on there, but on this private Facebook group, which is lawabidingbiker.com/Facebook group, you can check it out, but you really will only be able to see a little bit. To actually get access to that, we got to invite you in, and you got to basically go to Patreon first, donate I think it's set at $2 per episode right now. You can donate $1, but you don't get access to it. There's levels. And then of course, if you go all the way up to, I forget what it is, but $10 or something or above, then you get access to a whole bunch more. Like any video we put out, you don't have to pay for it. Even the for sale videos, you get a whole bunch. But for $2, you do get the Law Abiding Biker Facebook group. Hopefully we're going to incorporate some t-shirts pretty soon in that. Get involved now. Whatever we do in the future, we're going to retroactive that, of course.
Yeah, and inside that private group, you get to learn a little bit more about the inner workings of Lab and what's going on.
We did. We made some big announcement inside that group, which we're not going to announce some of that on the podcast just because we want to move along and get into some content. But you will get very, the inside look at kind of what we're doing and how it's going and the direction of Lab Media and what we plan on. And so, yeah. And hopefully in the future, we'll put even out more exclusive content in there. It's something we're working on.
The videos alone's well worth that.
Yeah.
I mean, getting access to all the videos, there's so many good videos.
Yes. The for sale ones for sure.
Yeah.
And that's, I think I'd have to look, but I believe it's $10 above. And there are people giving more than $10, per episode, just a few. I mean, we only have like 6 Patreons right now, patrons who pledge a certain amount per episode. Again, guys, no risk over there, but it is a big project. And yes, we are pushing it. We think it's the best way. Of course, we love, the donations, the flat donations. I mean, we're never going to, balk at those, but certainly Patreon gives us an idea of how much we can do and what content we can put out, because it's kind of, we know what's being pledged per episode. It's structured. It helps us a lot. So thank you. We're going to thank some people later for being involved with Patreon. Again, lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon. Let's talk about this stolen Cannonball Run motorcycle deal. Lurch, you know a little bit about this?
Yeah, you said you saw these guys come through the area?
I did.
Okay.
Breaking news. Breaking news. Just saying. All right. I did. These guys actually came. I was working at my regular job, and I knew about it though because I saw at our local Harley-Davidson dealership, I saw the sign up that the Cannonball Run was going to stop at their dealership. I saw it like a week ago, and so of course the sign was there with the internet side. I go, "What is that? I don't know what that is." So I looked it up. Of course, got my iPhone out and looked it up online. I found out who they were. Well, then a week later, I happened to be riding, and this guy rides. He's got no signals. He was just riding from 2 blocks without a helmet, and they actually can. because of this event. They have a permit so they can ride without. So I pulled him behind him. I go, that's a Cannonball. So I just stopped and BS'd with him for a while. That's when I found out that was the night prior to going over to Tacoma. So that's what the do you want to tell them what the Cannonball Run is?
Not really.
Okay. Cannonball Run.
The boy.
Geez, I send this guy some freaking links. And so the Cannonball Run, basically, let's look it up here while I'm talking about it. But
They're to vintage Harleys.
Yes. Cannonball Run. And, oh boy.
You're going to get you might get movies.
Let's do motorcycle.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, here you go. Motorcycle Cannonball Run. This is it. So there gives you guys a little bit of information for you. But basically they run these old vintage motorcycles, Harleys, and they ride. Seriously, dude, they've got like old tractor seats on them. These things are beat to crap, man. And they ride from Florida all the way to Tacoma. So they basically do from, the very north, what would that be, southeast to the very northwest. And they ride these things, dude. And this one guy I talked to, I was like, are you serious, dude? He's actually riding that thing across country in its vintage state. So it's not modified at all. Does that give you some information here?
That's cool.
Did I get the right one?
Yeah, that's the right one.
Okay.
It's just a little small. It's hard for us to see over here.
Oh,
yeah, I can't read it.
All right. Well, let me.
I know you in the past have punched up the Zoom a little bit.
I can. Is that better for you?
Now you're snacking.
All right. Yeah. So anyways, these guys were running through. Let me go back to the article here. So these guys are running. And if I'm wrong on a few of those little facts, guys, don't send me hate mail. But that's the way I understood it from looking it up, is from Florida on vintage motorcycles. I don't know if there's a certain year or something that you have to ride, but they're old, man.
Well, that article you just had up said the guy was riding in 1928.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's impressive.
Yeah, according to the website here, it says they have to be older than 1930, so they're riding some pretty old bikes.
Those are like 80-year-old bikes.
That's
like
crazy. I'm telling you, the one I saw,
double
80 to 90, probably.
What has it got, like a 2-gallon gas tank or something?
No.
They must have to stop a lot and gas up.
I was going to say, too.
They've got a support crew with them. Perhaps they're carrying gas. I have no idea.
No, he was gassing it up at the gas pump.
Oh, was he really?
Well, yeah. The whole point is to
him,
ride those old motorcycles as they are.
Yeah, it's an organized deal. I'm sure they've got support, too.
I don't know.
How long has this thing been around?
Since 2010.
So it's fairly new, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
And this last one was started on September 7th with 50 riders. And it's a 2-week journey across the U.S. from
Wonder how many
Florida.
miles they're running a day.
It looks like they're running about 300. Was the goal. Averaging 300 a day. Is what
that's
the
insane.
website says.
On those bikes,
on those old bikes,
lot.
Yeah.
We do 600-700, and that's hard on a brand new bike.
Right.
Even half of that on that bike, rattling and shaking.
Well, just think about doing it on the wide glide, 300 a day, where you get sore.
Yeah,
you had foam in your seat even on the wide glide. These are like a metal seat.
Probably rigid, aren't they? Are those little bikes rigid?
Yeah.
Well, didn't they had
springs are in the seat. Yeah,
right. Oh, they have big springs under the seat. It's like a big old tractor seat.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
See, you can
that
see
was
the
the
picture
original
there.
design.
That's awesome.
But they're hard. I think the rest is a hardtail.
I think you need to get some pants like that.
It is. Yeah, it's a rigid bike with
dude.
a
And those
seat.
boots,
I just want to know.
lace up to the knee boots.
Okay, yeah, lace up to the knee boots, and we're looking now. This is an old picture of some guy in a 1930 Harley Davidson.
Yeah, they got
whatever.
those goofy riding pants with
But
the
what are these
ponchos.
big pouches on the side?
That's where you put your wallet, I guess. Your wallet and your cell phone.
Well, they're like
part
on
of
the
that coat?
hip.
Is that part of the coat?
No,
I don't
that's part
know.
of the pants.
It's part
Those
of the
goofy
pants,
old
dude.
riding pants. I can't remember what they call
I
them.
wonder if they have padding in them because look what you're sitting on.
could be.
Maybe. I think they're hot looking, and I think you should do that leather helmet, Matt.
You know what? I would do that.
Does a leather helmet help you?
I
Like
would
an
wear those-
aviator. It probably slows down the road rash.
It keeps your brain in there when it explodes when you hit your head. It keeps your brain contained within the leather cap.
That's better than nothing, I
there
guess.
was a helmet downtown Harley in Renton that was like, it was a modern helmet, but it was had the same goggles and everything. I'm like, that's cool.
That is, man.
I'd wear one of those.
Yeah, of course you would.
So there's your
Shut
breaking freaking news, people.
Well, that's not what's interesting. What's interesting is what happened when they were in Tacoma.
Which is right here. So
Yeah.
So they come through Cracoma, which is where we're from, good old Yakima, Washington. And for the life of me, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen in Yakima.
Oh, yeah.
I was so happy that it didn't happen here.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead with this.
Well, the problem is, I think in Yakima, there's nobody that our criminal element's not sophisticated enough to steal a vintage Harley. They'll take a 1990 Honda every day of the week, but they're not going to take a 1920 Harley because they wouldn't be able to cut it up and move it fast enough.
Well, they wouldn't know how to start it or ride it.
Yeah, that's part of it.
They're all kickstart.
Yeah, when they're in Tacoma, though, 4 of the vintage Harleys and a truck and trailer, an F-250 got jacked.
Dude. And so they were in Yakima the night before. They went to Tacoma the next day. That's when I saw them when they left. And they get jacked, dude. Mm-hmm.
But then somebody saw it, saw the trailer all blacked out, all the logos and stuff were blacked out, and it was all over social media and the news, and kind of a big deal over there. And somebody saw the
so they caught them. They caught the suspects.
Yeah, they ended up getting them.
Oh, were the bikes in the trailers?
Yes.
Oh.
Then they
had an enclosed trailer with 4 bikes in it, and they had stickers and crap all over it. Well, somebody had blacked out the stickers, and it was all over Facebook, Twitter, and the interweb and the news, and somebody saw the trailer.
The interweb.
And I suspect those criminals probably knew they were coming because it's kind of like they were ready. You know what I mean? I think they knew. They must have known that they were coming, and
because who else is going to steal
with a trailer and vintage bikes? I think they knew because they know exactly where they're stopping. I mean, it's at every dealership. There's a big sign. Let's look at some of these Facebook comments. So I would not want to be these guys.
The criminals?
Yeah,
they're not very well liked.
I think they should just. Yeah, I don't know. They probably got beat down. All right. So good news. Those stolen bikes from the Cannonball Run have been recovered thanks to all the social media posts. It went viral, thanks to everyone who shared the news. All right. And let's just read a few comments here. Go ahead.
I like the first one. I hope the scumbags that stole them rot in hell.
There's a lot of likes on that one. 19 likes and a couple replies. All right. One more time. Social media is good. Yep.
Oh, I like that one right there.
Motorcycling community and social media win again.
Mm-hmm.
Amen to that.
The perpetrator should be hanged like the days of horse thievery.
Well, you're stealing an iron horse.
I know.
I mean, really.
Are the thieves still alive? If so, why not?
Why?
Let's see. Fingerprints. So I don't know what that one means. They already caught him. Okay. One was not recovered. Plus parts and tools are gone. It doesn't matter what the value is. That is your bike. You put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into them. They are your babies. It's an emotional loss as well as a physical one. I hope they find the thieves and toss them in a cell for good or deport them.
Well, that's assuming.
No. Right.
Yeah,
that's a big assumption there at the end.
I don't know.
They could be French nationals, dude.
Did they
should deport them too, right?
Did they find the criminals or not? This article doesn't really say. Or
that I don't know. I just know that they recovered the bike.
So I guess we don't really know, guys, whether they recovered the or got the thieves, or just recovered it. Actually, it's kind of, at least they got the bikes.
Yeah.
So there you go. So that's why that one guy was saying fingerprints. I bet they recovered the bikes and not the criminals yet. All right. So
pretty hard to move a 1920 Harley.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you got to figure the people that knew.
It though.
But the people that knew and took them, if they had a reason. They're not just, oh, look, a trailer full of bikes, we're going to steal them. They had to have known, which means it's people that either appreciate them for what they were or they had a market for them already. Some knucklehead.
That's giving some turds a lot of credit.
Dude, but Tacoma being on the water.
They might be a little more advanced.
And they ship them right out of there.
That's true.
What's some tweaker going to do? Take all the copper out of it?
Right.
I mean, I got to stop turning that because
pretty sophisticated.
Are these 360-degree mics?
No, you gotta look right at that thing.
They're dynamic microphones, so you have to talk into the microphone.
If you want to turn and look at me, you either
talk,
or you can just do like this, talk out of the side of your mouth.
I've been playing with my mic all night anyway. I can move it around a little bit.
Who wants to thank a couple Patreons? Actually, one, he just became a patron.
A patron of Patreon.
There you go.
Oh.
Old Mark Arnold of Edmonton, Alberta.
Shout out.
Great area up there in Edmonton. I've been up there myself doing
beautiful
deer hunting. Yeah.
Now, not only did Mr. Mark Arnold become a patron, so he's pledging a certain amount of money per episode or per piece of content.
He also made a donation on top of that.
On top of it, right back to back donated.
Wow. Dude. Thanks, Mark.
That is the absolute best, man. And
I hope to come up and kill some of your deer here in the near future.
Deer here.
And that's the kind of bikeaholics, man. This community that's growing, man. It's awesome. Bikers, truly, man. Truly the best.
Yeah.
If you want to help out and become a patron, of course, lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon. You can find out everything over there.
That's www.
That's on the interweb.
Interweb.
Correct.
Where'd you guys come up with that?
I have no idea. I probably heard it somewhere.
Lurch,
Jacked it.
Lurch is going to become a high-tech redneck. He's working on it today. We
we're
were
gonna
working
have-
on some stuff.
He's
We're
trying
gonna
to
have
teach me
two.
some of this making of web pages and audio editing and
Audio
things like
editing.
this. So
mhm.
You know, and Yoda would say that in order to maintain the delicate balance, then that means I should go the opposite way and be even lower tech than I am.
I don't think that's possible.
It might be.
Doubt it.
I could
Pretty
get.
sure it's
I could
not
get
possible.
a burner flip phone with no internet access.
Oh, yes. By the way, that you talk about burners. Well, we'll talk about it in the next episode what we're doing.
Oh,
with
yeah.
the SOA. I was going to get into SOA, but I'm blurring my two podcasts together.
Oh,
We
easy,
are.
easy.
All right, guys, let's move into our main topic, huh? All right, guys. So, main topic.
Nice sound effect.
That
You
was
like that?
I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Can you play it again? One
That's
more
called
time.
a bumper.
A bumper. Bump me again.
All right, let me bump you
Oh.
again. Here we go. Here we
Good
go.
call now.
Bumper.
Not bad.
Can I get that as a ringtone?
You can.
Really?
For like text messaging?
Right.
That'd not be a ringtone. It would be a text tone.
So, Oscar, you got some
Whatever.
thoughts
Whatever,
here.
dude.
So, why join a traditional motorcycle club? Why not just hang out? Let's listen to this voicemail, huh?
Yep.
And we appreciate the voicemail, guys. And if you guys want to leave a voicemail, head over to lawabidingbiker.com/voicemail. Or you can call us 509-731-3548. 509-731-3548. That's our listener hotline. You can live it right from your computer, of course. Again, and contact if you want everything in one place, lawabidingbiker.com/contact. Our emails there, our phone, our voicemail to leave from your computer. All right. He left this, I believe, if I remember right, he left this on the listener hotline. So let's listen to what he has to say. He didn't leave a name, so I don't have a name for you guys, but I know where the phone call came from. It's from St. Peters, Missouri. Here we go.
Do it.
Do it.
Hey there. I've been meaning to give you a call and leave you a message for a while. I don't have anything prepared. My thing that I just can't wrap myself around with is I've had a bike for 3 years now. Neighbors on my street, my buddies, they've had bikes for a lot longer than I have. And the whole thing about a club versus what we have seems like we don't have to hassle with any of the bylaws and stuff. If there's somebody that we all like, we hang out with them. If we don't, we don't. We don't wear the leather cuts, obviously, because we're not in a organized group. But we're just a bunch of buddies that hang out with our families. And I just don't see the benefit of the formal, again, I didn't take any notes, but don't see the benefit of formalized written bylaws, all that. Anyways, still love all your podcasts. I've listened to every one of them, and keep up the good work, buddy.
Roger that. And thanks for the email, or the voicemail, excuse me. No name.
Thank you.
From
No name.
Saint
Thank you, no name.
Peters.
But we
Missouri.
do. Yeah, we're just teasing, but we really appreciate that, guys. So let me get this started, guys. And then you guys can throw in your thoughts. I'll just get it rolling. I think we have some deep discussion on this. So he says, that's a good question. I wrote a full blog on this.
Yes, you did.
We're going to put it out with this episode. So if you want to get the notes like any podcast we put out, if you guys want to get the full show notes and blog or any links we talk about, we put really, what kind of show notes?
Oh, copious.
Oh, attaboy.
Yeah, your blog's like 3.5 pages long. If it were in the printed version.
Thank you very much. So yeah, I do copious show notes. It's lawabidingbiker.com/ and the episode number. So if it's 60, it'll be 60. And I do have a nice blog in there. Really, not a lot of subject matter out there when you Google it. So I want to put out some solid information for the law-abiding biker community. All right, so Lurch has read that because I had him proofread it before I put it out. So I'm just going to say right off the top here, and then you guys jump in. I will start out by saying I totally agree. A club's not for everyone.
No.
And the fact that you have questions about it, then that tells me that's smart because you're researching it. You're not just, jumping right into a club because that seems like everybody's doing. You have some legitimate questions. I think as we go on here, I think we have some very legitimate answers and insight into some of the benefits, maybe some of the pros, maybe some of the cons of whether you should join a club. But I appreciate just the fact that he's asking because he doesn't know. So he's asking for that information. And I've had this question before on emails and stuff. I just put it aside as a coming up subject, but since somebody left me a voicemail, of course I get to the voicemails first, guys. So that's why we bumped this up, but we have had enough interest in it. So I'm just going to tell you that right off the bat. We're definitely not, we're all members of the Sworn Few MC sitting here in this studio, obviously all on the mics here for Law Abiding Biker podcast and media. By no means do we say that you should join a club. It needs to be a very, very thought out thing. Definitely, hopefully this will be a resource for people, this spoken audio here on this podcast and the written blog, the written information. So now we do know, do you guys remember we met Todd Morrell?
Who can forget that?
Morrell. Yeah.
Is it Morrell? I always forget.
Yeah,
Todd's going to kill me. He won't kill me.
Todd.
I always say
Todd, Toby, Sam, and Alan.
Dude, look at you, man. What a guy. Look at that.
Wow.
Todd.
Yeah. And I think it was Sam. His nickname was Two Scoops.
Two Scoops. Yeah, I remember Two Scoops.
Look at that. See?
Two Scoops. Don't exactly. Well, they never did tell us what the.
Well, he did kind of.
Did he?
Yeah, but the other guy interrupted a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the Two Scoops means.
So you guys want to tell the listening audience who these guys are and why we're bringing that up? Because they do exactly what this guy's saying at this point, but they're looking at a club.
They're thinking about it. They're just a group of guys that likes riding.
They don't ride Harleys. One guy rides a Harley.
Yeah, there's one guy.
But the rest ride
touring bikes.
Right.
One guy had a BMW. The other guy had was it a Yamaha? Wasn't our?
I remember not exactly what it was. I just know
mixed bag of bikes.
Yeah, they had a bunch of bikes.
But they're a group and they ride together and they have certain rules and things they abide by. So they're somewhere in, but they're a riding club, I guess, without any patches. And they had one patch, TFFF or TFFT, or
they made one patch
some patch. But,
that's right.
Yeah.
We are going to, I had talked to Todd eventually, hopefully this winter when it slows down, maybe we can have those guys over and get him in the studio and talk a little bit about it. I had talked to him about doing that because they are feeling out a club environment. They don't quite sure what they are at this point, but they're from the west side of the state here in Washington State, over near the Seattle area.
The wet side of
the
state.
They ride a lot. They're very close. They have their group, but they don't have any formalities yet. They don't know if they're going to. That's why they contacted us.
Yeah.
Kind of see what we do and been very involved with Law Abiding Biker Media. In fact, Todd is a Patreon. He pledges per episode. He's been one of the very first people. Mm-hmm. So,
and they brought beer when they showed up over at LD's house.
That was important.
No doubt, man.
But that was a good group of dudes.
Oh yeah, I had fun hanging out with them.
We'd never met, and then we'd just hang out and started BSing, and like we'd all been buddies for 10 years.
All right. So yes, they were, and we had a good time that night, and they just come over, we barbecued and did the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right. So we do know a club or a group of guys that's doing that. So we're familiar, somewhat with that.
And we
approach.
That's what we did before we started the first club. I mean, we just hung out together, no club.
But we went on a yearly trip.
Yep. We did a lot of riding together, and we had a key group of guys, and a core group of guys, and
some of those came and went.
Yep.
Because of moving and whatnot, like Ed's friend, what he rode with us. He worked over in Seattle, the ships or whatever.
He moved down to California.
Right. And so we had some people, and then we picked up some along the way, like Skins. He started coming with us on the summer trip, and I would say we didn't ride nearly as much together as we do now, which I think is a benefit of a club, which we'll get into.
Right.
But we rode, but we weren't nearly as
organized,
and we didn't go on nearly the amount of rides we do once we decided to become involved in a club.
Well, and the voicemail question here is kind of from one angle. There's different angles. So he's asking a question based on where you guys were before, which is, it seems that he has a group of buddies. They are all tight and they all ride together.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you go from there to a club? Right. But there's other angles, like why would someone join a club versus, so we cover both sides.
Yeah, it sounds like to me from his question is they're fairly happy having the group that they have, but apparently somebody's thought about starting a club. Probably the individual left the message. Mm-hmm. So being that we are a club and they listen to our podcast, they want some insight from us. And I think some of the things we have to say will either make them decide they want to start a club or not start a club.
Right. And I say go either way.
Yeah,
we're not going to try to rope you in.
For you.
Right.
I'll say if these guys have a tight group of close buddies that all ride together, then maybe the formalities, there's no point to it.
There is.
There is. But I'm saying
maybe
if like from my perspective, where I didn't have that, I just did a lot of lone wolf riding, and I had, buddies that had bikes that every now and then would ride. Joining a club was the best thing I could have done because it gave me that core group of people who are, like-minded, that wanted to ride like I do and are committed to it. So I can't speak from where you guys are coming from. I can only speak where I'm coming from, but my perspective is different than that.
Yeah, I was slow to warm up to the idea of starting a club. I mean, you had the idea first and brought it to me, and it took me a while to decide whether I wanted to do it or not. And
that was pre-sworn.
Yeah, that was our
Blue
first,
Knights.
Yeah, that was our
still
Blue
Blue
Knights club.
Right.
A lot of it was because I didn't know if I wanted to take the time. I don't know if I wanted to be that dedicated to it. With a group of guys that just ride together, you can easily say, "No, I'm not going to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm busy."
That's the worst part.
Yeah, when you have a club, you feel a little more obligated to go out and ride, which you should do. So but I didn't just rush into it. It took a while.
Mm-hmm.
It took a while for me to decide to do it. I'm glad I did.
Me too.
Me too.
I don't tend to jump into things anyway, so
I love
it
you
took
guys.
me a while. Yeah, but I'm glad we've done it.
Can I get a hug right now?
I would, but we got microphones and
Oh yeah. Can we get a hug
stuff in the
later?
way.
Move to move.
Get your hand off there. That
Only-
is not a microphone.
Dude.
Only
And do not try to talk into it.
Why you got to call that out?
Only
We're
if you
trying to
give me
have a
reach
moment
around.
over here.
Just saying.
You can only have a hug if you give me a reach around.
All right.
Back on track.
If I was giving you a move to move hug and I gave you a reach around, I'd grab your butt, dude.
That'll work.
I don't know what happens there. That's awkward.
All right. So let's break down real quick, because when you're talking about a club, there's different kinds of clubs.
Sure. And we've already talked about the unorganized group. Now we're going to move on to a little bit more organized group.
Yes. So
Okay.
we'd already talked about just getting together and riding.
Buddies, just hanging out.
That's somewhat of a club, whether you want to call it a club or not.
It is.
You have a group, you know who that group is, you ride with them, but you have no formalities. So let's just call that a riding group.
Right. Yeah. Riding group.
Okay. Let's move on and talk about a riding club.
Okay.
So, when this guy is leaving this voicemail and he's thinking about starting, well, what kind of club are you thinking about? Or maybe he's not even thinking about it, but there's different. If you don't want to be so attached, you don't have to do the traditional 3-piece patch type, the traditional motorcycle club. You can do what a lot of do, and that's a riding club.
Right.
All right. What are some of the differences, about a riding club? They don't wear the 3-piece patch.
No.
Obviously, most riding clubs wear, if they wear a patch at all, you don't have to wear any patches for a riding club. Some just have T-shirts and or ball caps. Some may not have anything, but they still have some sort of membership process where, at least maybe not perspective, but at least they invite you in, or you can ride with us. We're now, example, a riding club. Some take it up a notch, like the Tempest Riders.
Yep.
And they wear the 1-piece patch.
And they
on
have a
them,
little
or
more
a two.
structure.
Right. They have all the structure
Right.
of a traditional club, but they don't wear the 3-piece patch. Is that fair?
I believe so. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to listen to that, we did a great interview with the Tempest Rider. That's lawabidingbiker.com/Tempest Riders.
And if people want to do some type of club, this might be a good fit for a lot of people that aren't
Right.
that don't want to try and do a 3-piece patch traditional motorcycle club. If they just want a riding club, the 1-piece or 2-piece might be a better fit for a lot of people.
Right. And maybe there's a lot of riding clubs. Most, I would say, don't have a probationary period.
Right.
They may not let you in if you're not a nice person. So there are some structure of who gets in, but traditionally there's not a probationary perspective period. They do have monthly, a lot of riding clubs have monthly meetings. There's no mandatory type attendance on a lot. Some, yes.
Some maybe, some not.
Some not. They're structured, but not nearly as strict. And even some traditional motorcycle clubs are becoming not strict at all anymore. Even 3-piece patch clubs, they don't have the huge probationary periods. I mean, even,
Sure,
Blue Knights, right?
Yeah.
You just, as long as you're in LE, you're in, you pay your money. And so it really varies a lot when you're thinking about, what are the benefits of a club? And we'll get into some of those benefits, but we certainly want to define for the audience what, the different types of clubs that you may be thinking about instead of just traditional.
Right.
So some people will choose to join those. Anything else on a riders club that I didn't cover?
Yeah, I think you covered it.
Do you want to throw out? They can vary a lot, riding clubs.
Yeah, there's a lot of difference.
Man, yeah. Anybody obviously can call themselves a riding club as long as there's some sort of formalized group. They are now a riding club or a riding group. So a good idea or a good example for you guys out there is HOG. HOG is a riding club. If you don't know what HOG is, it stands for Harley's Owners Group. Everybody that buys a brand new Harley Davidson gets a free 1-year membership in the HOG. You guys will see the HOG patches. You'll see guys wearing vests. They're not a 3-piece patch, but they all wear the HOG vest. A lot of them, they got the HOG pins. And then, of course, you can stay in the HOG group even after the year if you start paying for your own membership.
Right.
So
one of the distinctions, like HOG sets apart is you don't, like you are a member in HOG. Like Tempest Riders or some of these other ones may have monthly meetings and membership because of their tax status. So they're more organized. So they actually have a tax status. Maybe they donate money and take in dues. And then other riding clubs like HOG where you can just...
They have monthly meetings.
HOG does?
Oh, yeah. They have
really?
they have chapters.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They have a Yakima chapter.
I knew they had chapters.
They meet monthly. If you get on their calendar.
They meet down at our local Harley dealership.
They're actually pretty organized.
Yeah.
The ones that are very involved.
We don't pay... You're part of HOG International or HOG National, I guess. But you don't pay any other than your HOG membership, which gives you the magazine and stuff.
They pay for it the first year, but
but
you can belong to your local one because you are a HOG member. No,
you don't pay dues to the local membership.
I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
Don't know.
But you can be involved in that. You just never did, is what I'm saying.
Oh,
you bought your Harley, you could have went and got on HOG Yakima, and you could have went to all their meetings. You're a member.
Right.
What their whole I don't know what all that is.
But Harley's taking care of the tax membership. Or I mean the tax structure for that.
I assume.
Other riding clubs may just be a group of dudes that organize and have a t-shirt or a cut. And then like Tempest Riders or others actually have a tax status. So that they have monthly meetings because they have a tax status, they're nonprofit or whatever.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
So they're even... Did I get lost?
I don't know.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
I just know. Here's
all I know is you're talking about taxes.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, because that's part of going into, if you decide you want to have a riding club, then you have to decide if you're going to have, tax status.
Some do LLC, some do nonprofit. We did nonprofit.
Right.
But there's a lot of clubs that do LLC too. I don't know exactly what HOG is. I do know that they raise money. I do know that they meet monthly. I do know that they have rides. They meet on Wednesdays and stuff up at they have all this different stuff. I've been on their calendar before, a lot more in the past than I have recently. But
I know I've got all their pins and patches and crap.
They send
me in
it all
mail
the time.
in
I
a
know.
box in my closet.
Yeah.
I like the HOG magazine. I read that. That's pretty good.
I decided to keep my membership up after I bought my new bike just for the discounts and for the hotels and the towing and that kind of stuff. I decided it's not terribly expensive. I kept it up.
It's true.
And part of our bylaws are that you can actually belong to HOG. That's the only other thing you can belong to.
Yes. The only other club you can belong to because it's just a riding club and it's part of being a Harley owner. It's got a lot of prongs off that.
Right.
So there you go. That's an idea, guys, of a riding club. If you were looking for an example, I wanted to have one in there so you can kind of know what we're talking about. And then we'll move on to kind of the traditional. All right. We want to thank a couple people for some donations. Thank you so much. Go ahead. When you spit.
Old James Demetrius of Cadiz, Kentucky.
Thanks, James.
He's been a long-time supporter of the show. He's left a lot of Facebook stuff. He sent emails. Great guy. Thanks for being involved, James.
David Jacobs of Leesport, Pennsylvania. Thanks, David.
And last but not least, Alan Harris of Wilmington, North Carolina.
Good rides down there in North Carolina.
Wilmington.
Isn't that where Devil's Tail is?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I think it is. I think Devil's Tail is North Carolina.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not like 700 turns in 2 miles or something.
Call Chewy and ask him. Sorry, Chewy. Come on.
At least he got an iPhone. Chewy got an iPhone, so he's with us now.
In the club. Thanks, guys, for donating.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you. Honestly, we don't know what to say, and I send you a personal email. Every single one of you, I like to give you credit. If you want to donate, lawabidingbiker.com/donate.
They're keeping some gas in the law-abiding biker motor.
So they're
keeping this thing running.
Rolling on down the road.
That's right.
Love it.
Lurch
came up
tank.
with that. Mm-hmm. All right. So my first, I got a couple things as we move on here. And so the tradition, we didn't really talk about the traditional motorcycle club. Let's just cover that real quick. So traditional is obviously what most people think of. They see it on TV. They see it in the news. It is what people think of as a motorcycle club. That is the guy rolling down. He's got the vest on. He's got a patch on front. He's got his title. He's got the 3 pieces, the top rocker, which is your club name, the center rocker, which is your brand, your logo, and your bottom rocker, which is your state or your city or whatever area you're rolling in. Some have an MC for motorcycle club on the back. Some have LE like ours for law enforcement. That is your standard. You got monthly meetings. You've got a president, a vice president. You got a secretary. You got a treasurer. You do what are those? Are they Rod's rules for meetings? Second, first. I forget.
I think they are Rod's rules.
They are. I think so. But they're those formal rules where you got a second, you got a motion on the table.
Right.
It's your formal frickin' chair committee type thing. However, they vary a lot too we wrote our own bylaws from the ground up. We don't follow anybody else's. We have very, very unique bylaws about, 100% vote for a lot of stuff. But you can do that. Some clubs, as we've interviewed on this podcast, are
have
50%, right? Majorities,
rules.
right? So you get to set that up, but it's very, very structured. A lot of times there's probationary periods, prospect periods. A lot of times there's minimum amounts, before you can get in. There's applications. There's mandatory rides or meetings. Anyways, so that can vary a lot too, but that's more of your traditional type motorcycle club. So I want to know, here's some points I want to bring up because I kind of get passionate. You probably saw from what I wrote. Because I had a lot of time to think about it because I've been emailed this before. I just want to know why everyone focuses on motorcycle clubs and not other organized groups. Okay. I don't understand. And a lot of it's because of the outlaw motorcycle gangs over time.
Yeah, it's the OMGs.
The OMGs. Right. Outlaw motorcycle. That's the criminal element, the less than 1% of motorcycles, guys, from listening to this podcast, 99 and even higher than that anymore of motorcyclists are good, law-abiding, hardworking people. They aren't the criminal element, but because of these 1% or less than 1%, they've made a really bad rap.
Yeah, what's in the news
all the time?
Your local club that does some fundraising and raises money for children in need or whatever. I'm just using that as an example.
They do too.
That doesn't get put into the paper.
Right.
There's the fact that the HAs and the Mongols got in a shootout and somebody died. That's all over the news.
Right.
So that's what's in the forefront. That's what people are seeing. They're seeing the OMGs and the bad stuff that they're doing.
Because heaven forbid we report on things that are good.
Right. It's not sensational.
Yeah,
not
right.
exciting.
Exactly. It doesn't get anyone to shake their head.
Not sexy.
Yeah.
I don't think they're sexy, dude.
Well, the problem is that media, for the most part, they're just a bunch of vultures. They're preying on humanity, and they're just trying to make a sensational story, whether it's true or not. Damn the facts.
Yeah, your local, your state law-abiding biker club that raises a ton of money is not sell magazines.
Or newspapers.
It doesn't sell
advertising.
And so people get this sense, and all the movies over time, and now we've got Sons of Anarchy,
which we enjoy, but
we love it. We keep it real.
Oh, it's out of control.
It has nothing.
There's so many people dying in every episode. It's ridiculous.
No one survives.
No. Well, they're all going to die.
And, a show like Sons of Anarchy, I'm sorry, but a lot of people watch that and they think that crap's real. I'm not even a 1% club doesn't even operate like they do. You can't operate
they would
like
be
that.
able to. They'd be
Everybody
shut down.
would be in prison or dead.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
You get too much heat.
Yeah. Do outlaw motorcycle gangs shoot each other once in a while? Sure they do. So do street gangs. So do the mafia. So does any city or state or anywhere in the world where you have groups or gangs, that happens.
Right.
It's nothing more within 1% clubs. It's that's just the way it goes sometimes,
Well, not everybody rides a motorcycle too.
Right.
That's the thing too. It's a select group of people, and people that don't ride motorcycles don't get it. There's just no doubt about it.
Right.
They don't get the motorcycling culture and black leather. Oh my
Right.
goodness, why?
Outlaw.
They're wearing all black.
Ooh.
Yep. And we do everything
It
we
looks
can.
stupid wearing beige. That's why.
Right. And we wear leather because it's kind of protective.
If you got a stormtrooper bike, dude, beige leather's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're fine.
You guys talked about that. By the way, that dude was wearing a stormtrooper helmet.
Yeah, he had a helmet.
His helmet was shaped
Remember
like a stormtrooper.
that too.
I will when we do our SOA.
Because you were sitting next to me going, hey, that's a stormtrooper. That's the only thing I remembered.
What we're talking about, guys, we're off track there and you have no idea what we're talking about. What these guys are talking about, you'll have to listen in on our Sons of Anarchy episodes. We do. There was a guy in there that had a white bike, but we'll get to that in the Sons of Anarchy, but that's what we're kind of talking about.
It's good that we bring it up on this one, just so the people that haven't listened can just jump right on over and listen to those SOA.
Because now they want to know what it's about.
Right, exactly.
That was a good hook. I like it. We're doing those on the side. So Because again, outlaw motorcycle gangs, the television, the media, and all that has given a bad name over time. And of course, law-abiding biker clubs, we're doing everything we can. All of us that care a lot, we're doing everything we can to get rid of that reputation. So here's my question to all, not just Sons of Anarchy watchers, but all people that kind of see a motorcycle club and they instantly have some sort of assumption and some stereotype about us. And that's what's great, because law-abiding biker clubs are everywhere and they're coming out of the woodwork. And so many more people come up and talk to us on our summer trips, huh?
Oh, yeah.
People just come up, and it's great because we want to get rid of that stupid brand or that stupid stereotype, that stigma that these, we're 99%, we're going to get rid of that stigma. So here you go. Here's my question to everybody. All right. Why not? This guy asks, why not just ride together? Why join a club? My question back is, why don't the guys just play football? Why do they need to be a team with uniforms? How come the NFL doesn't just get together as a group of guys? Why do they need to have a brand? Why do they need to have uniforms, and why do they need to play together? Why are there young life groups? Why do young life groups and church groups wear t-shirts? Why do they do that? Why don't they just get together for church? Why do they have to advertise what they do? How about Boy Scouts? Why don't we just have a bunch of boys that get together and go hiking, right? And get and hang out with our dads? Why do they have to wear uniforms? Why do they have patches? Why do they have levels? Why do they have positions? And why do they have structure? Same with Girl Scouts. Why do they have to wear uniforms? These are all clubs. They're no different than a motorcycle club. They're organizations, and they could certainly just get together. How about golf clubs? Why don't you just get together with your buddy in golf? Why do you have to be in a club? Am I making sense?
Well, yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting
down.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, Simone. What are you cooking?
You guys, country clubs. People belong to country clubs. I can go on and on. It's, here's what it comes down to at the basic element. Before we get into everything else, it is a basic human nature to want to belong to something special or elite. You want to be proud of what you do, whether that's a soccer club, whether that's Boy Scouts. You're proud of what you do. You put a lot of time and effort into it. You're proud to wear that uniform. In our case, it's a leather vest that we've built this club. It's something we belong to. It's elite to us, and I believe it's elite all the way around. Well, but of course, it's going to be elite to us. Yes.
Sorry, hold on.
No, go.
You're right on track. But what you're saying,
damn right I am.
Those things. Well, your track's got your track's got one rail. It happens. But all right, so football. Plenty of dudes play pick. I'm going to use basketball for example, because we used to go down to the park and play basketball. Plenty of dudes play pickup basketball. They don't wear uniforms. They do shirts and skins.
Good point.
And that happens all the time. So what you have are guys, hey, I want to go play basketball. And so the reason that you join a basketball club is because sometimes you go to the basketball courts to play pickup basketball and there's no one there. And they're like, hey, you join some kind of basketball club that meets at the Y every Tuesday. Someone's going to be there to play.
Right.
So the people that don't want a commitment, they want to go to Randall Park or Wilson or whatever and just play basketball. And if no one's there, no one's there. There's no commitment. Fine. But in that same group, you have people that want to play. And so they want to show up and play every time they can play. They want something more. They don't want to just show up and go, okay, no one's here today, I'm going to leave. It's a waste of my time to drive 20 minutes down here. They go, I know I want to play, and I know I want to have people there to play. So I'm going to take the next step. So it's the same with anything. A bunch of dudes can show up. We have groups.
Yeah, but why do the NFL, why don't they just get together and play? And there's more to it. You're absolutely right.
Because it wouldn't be structured.
Thank you.
It wouldn't get done.
Thank you.
And you're
guaranteed play whenever the heck you want to play. And
you're guaranteed to have people there.
Yeah.
They're going to play. All those people are taking the next step and going, all right.
And it's an organization.
Yeah.
Right.
And it makes money. Mm-hmm. Whether you're like us, whether you're just getting money to give to people, a nonprofit organization, the NFL is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
I was going to say, if the sworn few guarantees me a $256 million 10-year contract, I'm there.
You're lucky to get pork chops, pork chops and beer tonight.
Hey, you know what? The pork chops were great, eh?
And that's not from the sworn few. That's from Lab Media.
Oh yeah, right. It is from Lab Media.
Right.
Yep, it is. Yep, it is from Lab Media.
But pro football, I mean, we got to throw those guys out because they're getting paid to play.
But they chose to organize it.
True,
for a reason, right?
But Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts,
I know. But you're right on track. It's what we're talking about.
The organization,
the one rail,
right?
The organization, the standards. It just keeps it all going.
It ensures that you have a group of like-minded people,
right?
Because when you don't, pick up basketball.
It requires you to show up.
Yep.
Right.
It requires a contract. It requires certain behavior. like we've seen with the recent domestic violence stuff and guys getting kicked out, right? It requires certain behavior. You have to be held to a standard. You can't have that when you just get together and there's no rules and no bylaws.
There's just chaos.
It can be chaos.
Can be chaos.
A world without rules is chaos. And we don't want chaos.
Wow. You're an anti-hippie.
Oh, yeah.
The antithesis of hippiedom.
I got no time for hippies. Bunch of weirdos.
But
smelling like patchouli, not showering, hanging out, wife swapping.
All hairy and stuff.
Yeah, hairy, smoking weed, smoking devil's lettuce.
The devil's lettuce, dude. We need to do a follow-up, not to get completely off track. We're going to do a follow-up on, remember our marijuana episode on legalization of marijuana a year ago? Now it's legal in Washington, so we need to do an episode on that.
Oh, okay.
Because we've been asked about it. So
we need to do an episode where we get completely off track the entire episode.
We do that every episode.
Oh, yeah.
The audience is used to it. So
we're talking about
back on track
clubs and the benefits.
Yes. So there are, and Oscar's right. He brings it in. A lot of people do just get together and play basketball and stuff. That's great. And it works for some people. But when you want to take it to the next level,
and to continue for some amount of time.
Then it's basic human nature, like we said. You know, and the
where's that at on Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
It's almost to the top.
I know you guys have been studying for that next rank. So tell me, I know you've been reading Maslow.
The top is self-actualization.
Yes, as I say, I know we talked about earlier. You're studying, so. Every promotion I've studied for, you've got to learn that Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
His hierarchy is actually defunct.
Yeah.
My hierarchy needs is
your hierarchy
PBR is number one.
So you're still at safety. You just want food and shelter.
Just safety.
Okay.
The
food
bottom,
and shelter.
Not working up the triangle. The hierarchy's only got 2 rungs.
That's awesome, man. All right, so moving on here, fishing clubs, obviously, a lot of fishing clubs, bass clubs, do they wear it? Yeah, they got shirts, they got hats, they got all this kind of stuff, certain kind of boats, right? It's a club, it's a community, it's an organization. Car clubs are huge. You guys see this all the time. We have a couple local ones here that wear their T-shirts and promote who they are, and they have meetings and all that. So look around you, folks, and this is a great argument if people come up to you and ask this question, why don't you guys just ride together? Why do you want to be in a club? Just use these arguments.
I've had that question, and I've given these answers, and they went,
good point.
I said, why don't you ask that guy about what club he belongs to?
Yeah, do you belong to a church? Yeah.
Is it Jeep Club?
Yep.
What's he doing?
Are you on PTA? Oh, really? Oh, because that's a club.
Organized.
Right. It's organized, and it's structured, and you have meetings. So look around you. It's everywhere, guys. All right, let's move on. I've got a bunch of other. Okay, here we go. So the uniforms. We're just going to call it a uniform, the 3-piece patch, or we dress a certain way within our club, and we're pretty structured on that. Now, we could just be a club without that, but why do we go the extra step to wear that 3-piece patch, to look the same, to have the same vest and all that?
Part of it is being law enforcement or military. We're used to that.
Right.
We're used to the uniform, that standardized look.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it
feels natural to us.
It sets us apart. From, hey, we're not just a group of dudes riding motorcycles or playing golf or whatever. It sets you apart from the subcategory of motorcycle riders to a club group.
Right.
And that instills a sense of pride. Like, hey, you guys can do your thing. You can be whoever you want. But this is who we are.
Absolutely.
It's the next level.
And you nailed it on the head. Sense of pride. Gives us a big sense of pride because we worked for those things. And everybody that comes in this club, Oscar, you worked hard to become a full member and get that 3-piece patch and be considered a full member. You're proud to wear that around with your brothers. It's about teamwork, right? The football team, the NFL football team is not a team without the uniforms. They need to know who to pass it to, who they're with. I mean, why don't they just get all out there and wear the same uniform? It would be chaos. It's not organized. It instills teamwork.
Be a hot mess.
It would be a hot mess.
I don't know about that description of a bunch of dudes running around. I got nothing. I'm gonna let it go.
All right.
Y'all out there.
Brotherhood, because you're wearing that same uniform, just like the military, that instills sense of pride and teamwork and brotherhood. Wearing that uniform, obviously, because we wear certain patches, it's chain of command.
Yep.
I got the P, you got the VP and all that.
Oscar's got nothing.
Oscar,
no, he does.
He does.
Right. Sorry, I forgot.
You guys just chucked me out. What is wrong with you?
He stepped up to treasurer. I forgot that recently. I apologize.
You know what? You guys are killing me.
I forgot. That's right.
My ego is crushed.
You are the treasure.
I just shed a little tear.
Sorry for that.
He's the treasure.
Yeah.
That's right. And we kind of gave you some other duties too.
Lots of stuff.
Yeah, like road captain, you're kind of that too. So
And ordering stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. It gives a sense of order, that chain of command, the team, the club, the group. It gives a huge sense of that you don't have if you're just getting together and riding. Again, not promoting that you should start a club. We're just telling you why we believe a lot of people start clubs and why there are so many this day and age.
Well, and part of the chain of command is you have a group of people who, when you agree there's a chain of command, you agree that you'll submit. Mm-hmm. So when you have a group going and doing things and a decision needs to be made, all of a sudden everyone's got input and you don't get anywhere. When you join a group where you know there's a chain of command, you've agreed that you're going to submit ultimately to one person's decision.
Right. If it does get crazy.
If it comes down to that, right.
On our summer trip,
right.
LD came up to me because everybody was not knowing what to do. And I don't take my position all that. You guys know me. I'm like, I don't really rule with an iron fist and all that kind of crap. But LD and a couple other people asked me, all right, what are we doing, P? Because everybody's got a different idea.
Right.
And who do you fall back on? What are we doing, P? And I'll just pull something out of my arse. I just pull out of my arse and I just pick one. None of them is better than the other, but I got like 5 different things in front of me. So I'm like, so basically I'm a coin flip. Which is what it comes down to.
But that's okay.
Oh no, I'm fine with it. You know me.
And we've agreed to go whatever you say.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not a freaking leader like that. So I like to leave it to you guys. But when they give me 5 decisions, I'm like, basically you're asking me to pick straws, so I'll pick one.
Yeah,
you didn't even listen. You're like, whatever,
right.
whatever. What was the first one? Let's do that one.
Right.
But if you have a group of 2 or 3 and you're riding or whatever, it's fine. The 3 of us are riding. Hey, what do you guys want to do? I want to do this, this, and this. All right, whatever. But if you have 5, 6, 7, 8 guys, they're riding motorcycles, they're probably already type A personalities. And a decision comes up, do we go left or right? You get half the group wanting to go left, half the group wanting to go right, and you don't get anywhere.
Good point. And remember, a lot of people that just ride together are just riding to the restaurant and back on a Saturday.
True.
When you're riding 7 days to California and different states and Nevada, you kind of need a little more structure if you're going to have a bigger group.
Yep.
I mean, so that's, good point, Oscar. I'm glad you brought that up. All right. So here are some reasons that I came up with why we and others may choose a club. All right. These are some standard things. Has nothing to do particularly with our club. I just think it's why people join any club. And this can go for more than just a motorcycle club. This can just be, let's just talk about clubs in general, any type of club.
Right.
All right. Most join, we will bring it back a little bit to motorcycle clubs, of course, because it's a motorcycle podcast. All right. So most join motorcycle clubs because the club offers something that they're wanting. All right. And if you guys want to jump in anytime, go for it. This is just some stuff I came up with. Some examples of that, what they might be looking for is that brotherhood, that real tight brotherhood, that some don't have true families, of course. A lot of people don't have families, or their families have abandoned them, or they've acted like a jackass and their families don't want them anymore. All right. And this club, imagine though, this is exactly like street gangs and all that kind. And this isn't, we're not talking about gangs, but we're talking about clubs. You fall back on a church, you fall back on whatever your beliefs are, you fall back on a motorcycle club, you fall back on that golf club. It gives you a sense of security. It gives you a family structure. That becomes your family. And they're basically, you're given a place within that structure, within that club. Mm-hmm. Just like a family. You're the second kid, you're the third kid. Dad trusts you to do this and he trusts you to do this. Sense of place, sense of belonging. You going to push my desk over, Oscar?
No, I realized I was moving a little bit.
Yeah, you're working on it. All right. So
with his stinky feet.
Yeah. All right. So achievement. If there's a prospect period to get in that club, whatever type of clubs is, that's a sense of achievement. Oscar worked hard for it, didn't you? We all worked hard for it.
Yeah, right.
Obviously.
I really had some second thoughts about it because he did make out with my wife when they were in school.
Oh, dude, it was not a make out.
When they were in their Catholic school.
Oh,
we can't let sleeping dogs lie.
In the stairs there at St. Paul's Cathedral.
Oscar, how far'd you go?
What?
How far'd you go?
I don't know what we're talking about.
Hey, we're live.
Hey, we're off track, dude. What
dude.
It was Catholic school. Draw your own conclusions.
Just do it, dude, because I'll let you guys fight live right here on the podcast.
I don't know what you're talking about. Where are we?
I just want to know how far you got.
We were talking about
achievement.
Did you get to first base? Did you get to first base? Second base?
We were in a stairwell with an audience.
Home run?
Actually, it was almost a foursome because there was 2 other people there.
Oh, that's kind of freaky.
It was a little creepy.
Oh, God.
It's fine. I don't even know what we're talking about.
One of these nights, we're going to have that can be like special content we can only give to the people that have the app, lawabidingbiker.com/app. we can do special content. We'll just have you two go.
I'm going to have to get fairly well into a big bottle before I divulge any further. Well, you sure already know all this.
I know it all.
Okay, well then why? Well, see,
I'm just poking at you.
I know what gets me all
Just having
fired. It
fun.
gets me fired up.
Going back to brotherhood, that's what
All right,
brothers
so-
do. Brothers
That's
poke
right.
at each other, have a little bit of fun.
What are the chances that I would join a club?
Pretty small.
Really small.
It is small.
Yeah.
All right.
We're
So
talking- yeah, right.
something to look forward to be proud of when you finally earn that patch. It's a bonding process, of course, all the way through that perspective period. And of course, you really, really, really feel that brotherhood when you're done because you really gotten to know that person. You know, a guy you just ride with, maybe you get to know him. I don't know. Maybe it's a brother or, you know, like me and you were pretty close, but I didn't know Oscar well before the club. Now I know him. I know his family. I know his wife. I know his kids. I've hung out at his house, you know. So you might do a little more of that than just getting together, calling some guys up to ride. So, again, you said it earlier, Matt. I want to rehash it as I think it was you. You're more obligated to ride together.
Right.
And
Yep.
that's
So you can put it all aside and get out there and ride.
Get out there and ride.
Can you imagine a world without cell phones? You guys.
The word processor.
I mean, ultimately, that should be why you're getting together. I mean, that's the foundation of a motorcycle club.
Thank
is
you.
Riding. All the other stuff is just extra icing on top of that cake, you know. It should all
Right.
be about riding.
Yep. The vest and the
Yeah.
patches and all that is extra. It starts with riding, which is what it started with us.
But the obligation, the feeling of obligation is huge. Because if you just ride with, I have lots of buddies that ride, and it's like, hey, he wants to ride. Oh, it's not convenient today, but next Thursday or 2 weeks. When you part of the club is, hey, I got to set aside the inconvenience, or
Sure.
I might not get as much sleep
Mhm.
because I committed to this group.
I've got a meeting I've got to go to.
That's a big deal.
Yep. Very true. They want to contribute maybe to a larger goal. As you know, a lot of clubs we don't focus heavily on charity.
Yeah.
But we do give where we can.
Right.
But we don't spend our whole year like we did in and that's okay. A lot of clubs do that. In our last club, it was,
We spent more time on what our next
we got away
fundraiser
from
was,
riding.
and
Right.
Who's going to be on what committee for the fundraiser? And
Right.
good Lord,
and
it's good. I mean, I don't take it
Right.
the wrong way. I mean, that is good. It's just not. We decided that's not what we wanted to focus on. We want to focus on riding.
Yep.
But through our monthly dues, and sometimes we just dig into our pockets when something comes up that we think's worthwhile. We make a donation, whether it's out of the club dues, out of the account, or we just get some cash out of our pockets. But that's not the focus of our club. The
Right.
focus of our club is brotherhood and riding.
Yep. That should be the foundation.
Mhm.
Absolutely. All right. And of course, briefly, we'll talk about the outlaw motorcycle games. Of course, they're getting into it for whatever array of crimes. And we're
Well, they're also joining for that brotherhood too. A lot of those,
totally.
a lot of those guys are lost souls. That need some,
everything we've talked
Yeah.
about plus this.
plus this, yeah,
Right.
This is the addition. They're also
Oh.
getting involved for the crime and the
Many
the
of
money
them,
and
right,
mhm.
are lacking a place in community. They're lacking a place in society. They're lacking family. Of course, they all fall into that brotherhood because
Sure.
they want a place, and they'll never admit that. But that's life. It's okay. It's not a bad thing. And they proudly wear a 1% patch. So we're telling you why we're in that 1%. They say we are into crimes and drugs and guns and money, and we're okay with that. And that's just life.
Well, if you ask them, it's just because they're not following the rule,
Right.
the rule of man. You know,
Right.
they're following their
Right.
own rules.
Right.
Whatever.
Whatever.
All right. So they, of course, do it to further their whatever activities those may be, because they have a group of guys to further their activities now. And the love of motorcycling, I agree. They probably all love riding motorcycles, a lot of them. Whatever. So enough about them. We don't talk much about that. So, all right. Now, let's talk about a little bit more of some of these groups and some of the people that you'll see bringing it right back into motorcycle clubs. Kind of putting it back in perspective here. So many, you got to understand, are support clubs. They provide some sort of support. So if you're an alcoholic, Lurch,
Sober riders.
Silver
Yeah.
Rider, yeah.
and
Hi,
you,
my name's Matt.
right, and I'm an alcoholic.
And I'm alcoholic and I ride motorcycles.
Yeah, but you could go to AA, right?
Sure.
And you could meet all these people, but you don't want to relapse. You need a support group. How do you and you find somebody that rides motorcycles? How do you
So you get to put two things together. You get to
There
put,
you go.
get to put a passion
Right.
of motorcycling plus a need of staying sober together.
there
Yeah.
you go.
Those are your like-minded people. While
Yes.
AA might be like-minded people in the fact that you are trying to stay sober.
Mm-hmm.
There may not be motorcycle riders, so you've upped your odds. I think of
You took it to the
staying
next
sober.
level.
Yeah, you
Took it to the next freaking level.
Well, and it's a smaller group too. It's not anybody that's recovering can belong to AA.
Yep.
But not anybody that's recovering can belong to the sober riders.
Well, has a judge ever ordered someone to join the sober riders?
No.
But AA, on the other hand, is often court ordered.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if it comes to that, I'm like,
it goes down to just like any other club. It's a select few, and you're hanging out with like-minded people. And
well, Combat Vets is a big one too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big riding club.
That very good work. I do want to hold that thought. I do want to talk about that. The sober riders, that's just one, or staying clean, if you're in drug rehab, whatever.
Bikers for Christ.
Right, Bikers for Christ.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Your motorcycle
Unchained
ministry.
Brotherhood.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
Now, they do that. They want everything we've talked about it, but so they're in a club environment now.
But it's tailored to their needs.
So I mean, and they don't want to relapse.
Right.
If they relapse, not only do they lose their club, their cut, and all that, they're back in AA, right? It gives them...
You got more to lose.
Thank you.
You have to walk the line and do the right thing, because if you don't, you're not just losing your sobriety, you're losing your club and your position and with the club and your status, and you're going to be more embarrassed.
Well said.
You got people that are holding you accountable
to a different level than AA.
Put that right in a nice little rapper, Lurch.
Can I get a bump, dude?
You want one too?
No, I wanted.
Oh, he wants a fist bump. I thought he
bumper.
wanted the bump.
Not the bumper.
Okay.
Oh yeah, can we get that again?
No.
It was cool.
He wanted a fist bump.
I did want a fist bump.
But that was very nice. Go ahead with the Combat Vets. Let's talk about that, because we're going to talk about some military-based clubs. There's a lot of military-based clubs, and we're going to talk about the reasons why that is. Why don't the military guys just get together and just ride? Okay, Oscar, go. You brought up combat veterans, so go. Put your phone down. Pay attention.
What? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Is this the SOA podcast?
Right, yeah.
No. Well, the Combat Vets, another need-based organization where guys, not only are they coming out of combat and may or may not have any need for support, but a group of tightly like-minded individuals that share two common interests. They were all in the military in some form or another, and they all love motorcycling, and they're a support group. So, I mean, wow. What better kind of organization is there?
Yeah, they understand each other.
Combat zones.
Yeah, they understand each other because they've been through similar instances. You can feel free to talk to a guy. I mean, I can't imagine. I've never been in the military, but if I was in a combat zone and went through some of the things those guys see and do, nasty stuff, you don't feel like you can talk about that with regular people. You need somebody that's experienced it, that understands.
Right.
So they don't, it's just like us in law enforcement. We see some nasty stuff too. And, we might open up to our wives and our family at some point, but we never let it all out. We actually probably tell each other and be more honest with each other way more than anybody else.
And what brotherhood can you have coming back from battle or coming back from overseas and let's just talk all of it, but let's specifically talk about combat. What a brotherhood to be, being shot at and possibly dying with another guy. You come back to regular society.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you find that?
Motorcycle club.
There you go. Where is a tight bond like that with a structure, and you have to earn your way in just like boot camp, and it's a brother that thinks like you and he's been in war and he can talk to you. I mean, it just all goes together like a puzzle, and that's why we have so many military folks. And quite honestly, they join OMG's Outlaw Motorcycle and they join law abiding because they both provide at the core. They both provide the same thing minus the criminal activity.
Right. And riding bikes is fun. It gets your adrenaline going up.
Right.
These guys have been through battle and had their adrenaline pegged. So at least on top of that, they also get out and ride, which fills some of those adrenaline needs.
Mm-hmm. Oscar, what say you on that?
Was that the start of HA? Guys out of the military?
Yeah, the booze fighters back in the day.
Right.
Yeah, a lot
in Hollister.
Yeah, a lot of clubs started with retired military guys.
Yep, and there's still a lot that go in.
Yeah.
But a lot these days, way more, again, 99% are going into law-abiding biker clubs and your combat veterans and all that. So, all right. Again, looking for that structured environment, guys, and it's a basic human nature to be in something elite and something you want to belong to. Oh, the tech mount, dude. We've been doing good, guys.
Speaking of being held tight.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, geez. Yeah. Yeah. Being held tight. Yeah. Belonging to something, knowing your place. All right. So the tech mount, guys, thank you for all of you that have used our affiliate link to purchase the tech mount. It really is the best mount on the market, I consider right now. I did a review on it. If you want to go over and get that review, it's lawabidingbiker.com/cellphone motorcycle mount. There's a video over there. I did a review of it. Chewy's sporting it and LD's sporting it. We did 2 videos, in fact, of mounting both. There's a couple different models, but really awesome, good price, great looking mounts, good prices, fast shipping.
Your big old cell phone doesn't fit inside the cubby hole on the
which it won't.
The new Street Glides and Street Glides and the Ultras and all that.
The touring.
You might need to have a mount.
Now I've got to.
Yeah.
Because my iPhone 6 Plus will not
phablet.
fit.
Is that what they call it, a phablet?
It is a phablet, dude. That's what I've been telling everybody.
Oh, what?
It's a phone tablet. It's in between a phone and tablet, so it's a phablet.
It's a phablet.
Wait till you see it. It's
That's
going to be
the dumbest thing
huge.
I've ever heard, but whatever.
Now
you heard
whatever.
I would tell everybody briefly. I don't want to get off track. I tell most people, get the 6. Just get the 6. It's an awesome phone. The only reason, guys, I got the 6 Plus is because I run a business on the side. I literally use my phone like a tablet. I'm in the back of websites. There's actually a little bit of coding. So I need the battery. I need that big screen. But if I was not a prosumer and I was just a regular guy, I would just get the 6. I don't like the big phablet, but I need it for my business, and it's just life.
Wasn't your freaking phablet freaking cool?
We're gonna tease him
please do.
about his big phone.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Please do.
Did you bring your phablet to lunch?
No, phablet.
Hey, get off your phablet.
I need
phablet.
I need to upgrade my mount. I need to get a hold of these guys and go through their our affiliate there, Power Sports US, and order me one.
There you go, Roy.
I'm tired of that old one I have.
I know Roy listens, and he sent us a couple tech mounts to try out. And of course, we've done a lot of work for it, put out reviews, and I really do believe in him, or I would not be promoting this to you guys. But Roy, if you're listening, send another one. Send the Tech Gripper for Lurch. We'd like to put that on his bike. We are the top. He sent me an email, so that's nice. We're the top affiliate for them right now, and that's because of you guys. And that's the Law Abiding Biker community. If you want to buy one, please use our affiliate link, lawabidingbiker.com/powersportsus. That'll take you directly through. All right, no additional cost to you if you guys order one, but we do get a small commission for each sale.
Yeah, we get a little cabbage, a little kickback, a little something.
There you go.
A little something.
It is the best cell phone mount for NGPS or anything other kind of device you want to put. They got all kinds of different
phablets.
So, there you go. For your phablet, guys. All right, let's get into this.
The day.
What's up?
Well, my wife got a little Twitter pated because the trailer we were looking at, she said, was 30 feet. And then I said, Lurch said that it included the hitch, which is about 3.5 feet.
Yeah, some models.
So then she feels better now.
We're super sidetracked.
That's what I was on my phone. You said get off, but this is important.
There you go.
Breaking news.
Oscar and Mrs. Oscar are looking at a new travel trailer.
Travel trailers. We've been searching for a couple days, and
she usually stays in mine.
Wow.
Just saying. All right, brotherhood, guys. Number one reason
it's got to be
is what I believe for starting joining a club is you're looking for true tight bonding and brotherhood. Now we've talked about this past, but I want to cover it again. We work with many other LEs, law enforcement officers each of us at our respective agencies. Right. It doesn't, and like Lurch just said in the past, it doesn't matter what job it is. There are people that you work with that you don't want to spend your off time with. The same for the cops. It's no different. There are people I work with that I don't want to go to their house. I don't want to be with them. I will work hard with them while I'm at work, and we have a mutual respect. Doesn't mean I hate them. It's just they don't have the same interest. Cops aren't cops off duty. I mean, some are. We know those people.
There's always a few that can't let it go.
Right, they can't let it go. Right. But when I leave work, if all you have is cop and interest, well, I don't want to. I have many other interests than being a police officer.
Yeah,
so
I don't want to hear your cop stories.
I don't exactly. So just understand that, guys. Just because we're in LE, just like military, when they get off and they get out of the service, they don't want to just talk about military crap. We have a life outside our job. We're no different than any other. A carpenter doesn't want to talk about carpentry on his time off. That's just life.
A carpenter doesn't want to talk about wood on his time off?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
I had to throw that out there.
All right. They don't want to hang out. A lot of them obviously off duty. Now, rules. All right. To get in, and we are, so here you go. We're in, that's a different thing. You know, at our job, we follow their rules. We have policies and stuff. When we have a club, we get to set our own rules, and we're in charge of who we hang out with. We're in charge of who gets in the club. We're in charge of all those things that are out of our control at our regular jobs. So I think that's another reason that, a reason that a lot start a club, because you get to do all those rules. And then, my off-duty time is very important to me, and I want to hang out with people that I want to hang out with. So, all right, as stated above, MCs have gotten that bad public rap, guys. However, we wear our cuts very proudly. We are respectful of people, and this is a little bit what I talked to. We're trying to change that perception, especially there are a lot of law-abiding biker clubs that are on the same page as us that you see out there. But I think all of us have a common goal to a certain extent of getting rid of that public perception. Because when we're on our trips, lots of people come up to us and talk to us. We take pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. They always find us. Where'd they find us this year?
Oh, was it in Yosemite? No.
It was, I think.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. Quite a few times. They come up with their cameras.
Yeah.
And they want to stand by the bikes and get
Yeah, it was
pictures.
in Yosemite, yeah.
It was in Yosemite.
That guy just hopped right on LD's bike.
Yeah, he did.
No, that
Yeah.
was
Whose
Yellowstone.
bike was it?
That was Yellowstone last year.
No,
No,
it
it was
happened at
this year,
Yellowstone,
too.
and it happened at
Oh.
Yosemite.
Yeah, Yosemite. There's some tourists
Yep.
that wanted to get a picture with some American motorcycles and bike club members. And
Yep. And that's another reason
Yeah.
that we got involved in the group. Is it is a core mission of ours, and that is to change the perception of the public that 99% of us are law-abiding people, and we're friendly. And just because you see a guy in a leather vest and a three-piece patch, you're likely less than 1% chance that he's a dirtbag.
yeah,
He's 99% probably a good guy, especially if you don't know anything about club names. Just the chances of walking up, he's going to be a good guy. So, a lot of law-abiding biker clubs, we wear that. We wear it proudly, the three-piece patch, and we're going to continue to wear it and try to change that public perception. We are the 99%ers, as you guys know, at this podcast, the motorcycle majority, and we ain't going anywhere. So, all right, we do talk with many in our community. I know that they know me. Lurch, they know you too, right? Whether you're in your cut or not.
right. Oh, yeah.
Yep. So they see that, and that alone changes their, perception of the law-abiding biker community or the biker community in general. So, and because we're an organized MC, Oscar, you touched on it earlier, which is great. You can't, if you're just a group of guys, you can't get nonprofit status. Right.
See, my tax stuff comes full circle.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
You guys were making fun of me earlier, and
wasn't.
I'm like, you know what?
You were just ahead of your time.
You were just way ahead of your time.
That happens a lot to me.
He just thinks about
we're
money
just
and
trying
taxes.
to pull the reins back on you a little bit.
You can't do it. I'm a Mustang.
Now, if he would have read his show notes that I sent to him,
He would have waited.
he would have known that was in there.
I memorized them.
Clearly,
But you know what? As a motorcyclist, I'm disobeying some of the rules.
clearly, he didn't even open up his notes. All right.
Um,
But we love you.
yeah.
In minutes,
Embarrassing.
I had to memorize, and I'm like,
Hey, you're working for free, dude. What can I expect? Come
actually, I
on.
worked for a 10-pound pork chop.
True. 2 of them.
That was awesome.
All right. So you can't get that status, guys. If you want to do charity work and you want to do all that and you want to be tax exempt, then you got to, or LLC or whatever, you got to have a club. You got to have an organization. 501c3 requires meetings. They require notes and all that kind of stuff. So that was a big deal for us if we're going to be donating to some people. Again, not our sole focus, but definitely we do what we can. And we don't want to be taxed when we're helping people. All right. Because of the club, here's some things. Oscar, if you're paying attention over there.
I'm listening.
Look at, he's still texting about trailers. He's so excited.
I'm
about
supposed
his
to go to
trailer.
Idaho on Tuesday and pick one up, apparently, but
Sweet.
I don't know how that works.
So what's some things in your mind? What are some of the best things that came out of joining this club if we were just riding together versus joining the Sworn Few MC? I've got some of my stuff that I think has benefited me. What do you got, Oscar?
You know what? The number one thing is I don't have to ride by myself anymore.
So it's about riding. But couldn't you ride together before with just getting together with some people instead of joining a club? Why did you have to join a club for that?
I didn't have that. Some people do, some people don't. I didn't have that. I used to have that when I rode dirt bikes.
Okay.
But with street bikes, cruisers or whatever, I just didn't have that. I had, loose kind of group of guys I know that sometimes would ride, and it became convenient. So for me, I can count on 98.9% of the time, if I want to ride, I'm going to have at least one other person in the club to ride with me. And while I don't mind riding by myself, it's a lot more fun riding it with other people, especially in the group. When we ride in a group, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Good.
And as a group, and ours in particular, we have standards and riding standards, and you feel safe riding with the
Good point.
guy next to you. While we all have different skills and some are better riders than others, at a minimum, you know that they're not going to take your lane. They're not going to run into you. You feel safe riding.
They can run to abreast. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can go 600 miles a day, and it won't take us a week.
Right. And when you're riding with just a group of, guys, and when you have a riding group and friends of friends show up and you've never ridden with this guy before. And, you just don't have that safety. So for me, a big part of it was just riding with a group of guys that I knew that I could trust and not worry about them running me off the road.
Good. And I will say, to throw in there, from my perspective is, if you're just a group of guys riding together, you're not going to have guys coming to you looking to join your group because you're not a club. Okay. We have, because we're the sworn few MC, I would have never I knew Oscar, but it would never have become a close brother. The North crew, I wouldn't have met those guys up there.
Yeah.
So we get the benefit of having guys come to us because we don't recruit. They really like what they see. They want to become a part of what we have. That's the number one key, that we're like, okay, let's look at this guy a little bit because he's come to us. And then these guys get through. And so we have these quality brothers that are coming to us, and we expand slowly. But I don't think with just riding together, nobody's going to come to you and go, hey, I want to be a part of your club that doesn't exist. And so you're probably not going to meet a whole bunch of new brothers.
Right.
This really...
So, what you're saying is, as a club, we're out there.
Right.
We're in social media, and we're out there. We're transparent, and
people know what we stand for.
Exactly. So people find us, whereas they may not find you if you're just a group of guys.
Right.
Well, and a prime example that...
So there's some...
I don't think Oscar would have known about us. He wouldn't have went, you know what? I hear Lurch and Ryan ride a lot. I'm going to call him. I mean, it's possible, but he wouldn't have, you know what I mean? And or the North crew, especially 2 hours away.
No.
A prime example is the spring ride that I put together every year.
There you go.
And it's now grown to the point where people are coming to me going, hey, when are we doing the spring ride? But invariably what happens every year is people come, and then we get the first 20 miles under our belt and we hit Bickleton, and then the group disintegrates. And everyone goes their own way, and it's no longer this, we'll get a group of 10 or 15, a group of 5, and a group of 3. These guys are going that way, these guys are going this way, and these guys are going that way. And then we're fractured. And the end of the trip ends up with, like 8 of us. Well, we went 2 years ago, or last year, it worked out pretty good. The club guys, you guys went before I was a full patch member. There was like 16 of us, and we stayed together for a long time. When we ride, we all stay together the entire ride.
Very good.
And that's a lot more fun than having a group of 40 bikes and then whittled down to 5.
Very nice.
And you don't have any idea where anyone's going or what they're doing. And yeah.
Yep. Good point. Glad you brought that up. That is awesome. Because we do stay together. And I really, to put the bottom line on it, I think you're really missing out if you're just riding with the same 4 guys. You're really missing out on new brothers and a tight brotherhood with people you never knew before, and or sisters if you're a female club or a mixed club, whatever. I just think you're missing out on a lot. You can meet a lot more people and actually ride together in that club environment. All right. Again, Matt talks, we all ride to a certain level, which is great. We know, because you're not going to make it in the club until you can ride to that level. That's just some of the prospecting periods and stuff and getting to know these people. Got to be careful if you're not used to riding together about doing that stuff. Brings you pride, obviously, to know to wear that patch like we've talked about, guys, and to earn that thing. What else, guys? Professionalism when pulling into events, because that's another standard of ours. We don't just roll in all rinky dinky. We actually have a very tight way of rolling in, and we look professional, and we practice those kinds of things, and we talk about it before, if we're going to an event and stuff. Again, just that making bikers look good, and making the club look good, and law-abiding bikers look good, and not looking like a ragtag show like a lot of the clubs out there, and that give the bad and name and all that. So, of course, the monthly meetings force us to get together, which has been the greatest, and even better than that we've talked about is this podcast.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Forces us to get together and eat dinner and drink beer and talk these things out, and we get to do it on a microphone, which is great, and other people appreciate it apparently. So,
I have no idea why.
Which is amazing. Yeah, they're listening to us talk.
Because I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I love every single one of them. I love getting other people's perspective. So,
sure.
But it is funny, we're just speaking our mind, but we work hard at it. I mean, we make a lot of notes, and it's not like we just come in here willy-nilly. We've really done our research. And
sometimes I come in willy-nilly.
You do, especially when you're texting all the time.
Yeah, the whole trailer.
Yeah. You are trash.
My truck can't pull a big trailer. I hate to say it. We're off track there.
That's all right.
Yeah, I got
sidetracked. So monthly meetings, obviously forced to get together. If you guys have those, or 2 meetings a month, if you have mandatory rides, it forces you to get together. You're not going to be able to enforce any of that in a guy just getting together.
Right.
Because it's in our bylaws. And again, it comes back to feeling obligated. And that's not a bad thing.
Not at all.
It gets me out of the door instead of sitting on my lazy butt, because I
it
want
is
to ride
too
with my
easy.
brothers.
It's
Right.
too easy to be, I'm tired. I'm a little tired. I don't want to get out of bed or I don't want to get off the couch. That's so easy to do.
Absolutely. And so I think it brings that. And with that, guys, what do you want? You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I would just say that if you want to join a club, you need to be ready to do it. It is a commitment. It's not something to take lightly. If you don't think that it's for you, don't do it. But if you want the things that we've been talking about, the brotherhood, the buddies to ride with, all those types of positive things that we've talked about, then maybe joining a club or starting a club's for you. But it's definitely, as you said earlier in the podcast, it's not for everybody. So don't rush into it. Put some real thought into it. Once you start, hopefully it's something that is sustained forever. I mean, we didn't join this club to do it for a year or two. I mean, the idea is this will last forever. So some things to think about. Hopefully we've put out some reasons that we think you should be part of a club. But if it's not for you, then we understand that.
And maybe those reasons we just talked about are the reason a lot of people don't want to be with clubs, and that's okay.
Some of the things that we are thinking are positive may be negatives to some people. So,
right.
yeah.
Right. The structure and all that.
Right.
Some people are like, I don't want any structure at all when I'm off.
They want to be like Oscar was in the day. They just want to be a lone wolf and do their own thing.
Yep. And I did write a very thorough blog on this, guys, 4 pages. And I will say Lurch helped me because he proofread it and we made some changes and stuff. So lawabidingbiker.com/ and the episode number will get you that, get you the links and all that kind of stuff. Oscar, what do you have for closing?
I stink.
No, what else besides trailer stuff?
You have to rethink turning on that fan.
All right. I'm just telling you, your old lady likes my old Winnebago.
The mini Winnie, huh?
Oh, and mini it is.
Oh, what do we got here, guys? Call to action, folks. Don't forget to go get that app. We have our own app, guys, lawabidingbiker.com/app. You want to know what's great about the app? You get the episodes like 5 days before everybody else. You get notes right in there. You can call the listener line right from in there. We're going to put out some special content in the feature that only app people are going to get.
One-stop shopping. It's all in one space.
There you
one
go.
Little, nicely wrapped bow.
What's our phone number, Oscar, if they want to call the listener hotline?
It's up there. It's 509-731-3548.
Or you can leave an internet voicemail right from your computer microphone. You don't have to have an external. They're all built in. lawabidingbiker.com/voicemail. Of course, our general contact is lawabidingbiker.com/contact. Don't forget to get in that freaking email club, guys. Send out when we have new videos out and stuff. That's lawabidingbiker.com/email club. It is free. It'll take you 2 seconds to do that. All right. Don't forget to rate us on iTunes or Stitcher Radio. lawabidingbiker.com/iTunes or /Stitcher Radio. Those ratings really help us, guys, get bumped up in the iTunes store and all that. And we just like reading them and we really appreciate it. All right, guys, makes us feel all warm and fuzzy. What are you waiting for, freaking bikeaholics? Get out there and ride already. Keep the rubber side down.
And the shiny side up.
Peace out.
We're out like a trout.